is going to start with this function here, copy array and multiply by 2. A function that's going to take in some list of data, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever, and then it's going to take each of those numbers, having created a brand new empty array, it's going to take each of those numbers, double them, multiply them by 2, double, and push them to that new array. So we end up with a brand new array with each of those input numbers in the input array. We get a brand new array with each of those input numbers doubled in that new array. Copy array, and multiply by 2. As I say, this function is very useful. Taking some input data and doing something to it, we do this all the time. But we're going to discover, man, this and future functions are going to feel very repetitive. We're going to feel in our gut to understand why we have a different approach, a better approach. But here we go, starting off with our code here, copy array and multiply by 2. Let's walk through it line by line, starting off with our friend Lewis. What are we doing in the very first line of code, Lewis?
We're declaring a function called copy array and multiply by 2, and we're storing it in global memory.
Excellent, thank you, Lewis. Copy array and multiply by 2, and the whole function definition, I'm drawing it, remember, as a little box like this. It represents the entire function definition. If I were to console log copy array and multiply by 2, I would see the entire function's description. Function, copy array, multiply by 2, parens, array, whatever it might be, the whole thing, because it's all stored in memory. All right, Z, next line of code.
We're declaring a variable called myArray in the global context.
Okay, myArray is stored in global memory, excellent, with the values 1, 2, 3. Next line, Philip.
We declare a variable result.
Result.
In the global memory, and we are going to be setting it to undefined right now until we run the function.
Which function?
Copy array and multiply by 2.
Copy array and multiply by 2. So keep me going, Philip. So I'm going to run copy array and multiply by 2, pass in myArray, which is the array 1, 2, 3. Yep, perfect. I'm just going to write it indirectly. And I know the return value, the output, whatever gets returned from this function call, whatever gets returned from it, is going to be stored in what, Philip?
Result.
In result. Perfect. All right, so we're calling a function. How do I know I'm calling a function, Skylar?
Because you have parentheses.
Parentheses, they're the all-powerful symbols in JavaScript. They say, go take my code and run it, and anything that you declare inside is stored in a memory. What's that combined known as? An execution context. Storing stuff in memory and going through the code line by line, bundled up together, is known as an execution context. Here it is. Fantastic. There it is, and into it we go. Now we can also keep track of these execution contexts on our call stack. We may not always do so rigorously, but here it is. We're in global to start with, and we started calling copy array and multiply by 2, so we add it to our call stack, our stack of functions being called, being invoked, and we're now inside copy array and multiply by 2. It's top of our call stack. All right, first thing we do inside, Philip.
We declare the parameter myArray.
We declare parameter.
The array, not myArray.
Okay, perfect. Parameter is array.
And we set it equal to the array 1, 2, 3.
Yep, the value of the argument that's myArray, which is the value 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Next line, Z.
We declare a local variable called output, and we set it equal to an empty array.
Good. Local variable output, there it is. Empty array. Perfect. Excellent, thank you. Very good, Z. Next line, Z.
Next line, we run the for loop.
Aha. Okay, so we initialize the for loop. I'm just going to take this array 1, 2, 3. I'm going to put these on the left-hand side, which is slightly contravening our thread, this being our thread of execution. I'm going to use it almost as a workspace to talk about manipulating array rather than doing on the right-hand side here. So when we hit the body of the for loop, I like to think about talking through for loop execution line by line, not I loop through the array and it's kind of vague, but literally I hit the body of this for loop, the 0th time when I is 0, what happens? Tell me, Z.
We push the first element of the array.
Okay, so we take the 0th element when I is 0, so array sub 0, array index 0 is what value?
It's 1.
It is 1.
We multiply it by 2, and that result gets pushed into output.
Perfect. We take the 1, we multiply it by 2, we get 2, and we push that to output. Excellent. Array position 0 is the number 1, because it's from my array, which is passed in and filled in. Array position 0 is number 1. Array index 0, array sub 0, always saying the same thing. We grab that 1, multiply by 2, we get 2, and we push it to output. Perfect. All right, now it's a for loop. So, Lewis, what happens next?
Now we're increasing I by 1.
Perfect.
So I is now 1.
Yep.
I is less than the array length. So
Okay.
now the index of 1 is equal to the value of 2. We're
Perfect.
multiplying that by 2 and then pushing it to our output array.
Very good. So we get the number 4, which we push the output array. It's a for loop, so we're going to do it again and get 6. For loop's now finished. All right? Because at this point, when I is 2, we grab my array position 2, which is 3, we multiply it by 2, we get 6. We increment I one more time to 3. Now is 3 less than the length of the array 3? No, it's not, it's the same. And so we skip out of the for loop and hit the final line of the function, Lewis, which says what?
We're returning the array containing 246.
Absolutely, the value of output. Return output, value 246. Return it out into what global variable?
Into global memory, the variable result.
Perfect. And we know to go back to global because we hit the return statement of our function, copy array multiplied by 2, meaning it got popped off the call stack. The call to that function was ended, and look, where do we go back to but to global. All right, where we returned out the 246 and stored it in the global variable result. And our goal of input 1, 2, 3 array, returning out from copy array and multiply by 2 a brand new array containing those input values doubled, 246, we have been successful. Okay, let's have thumbs on this core function. You lost me, I am clear. I have some clarification questions. Everyone's thumbs out. Everyone's thumbs are up. No clarification questions. All right, fair enough. Well, if you like this function, you will love my next function. This next beautiful function, very nice function. Copy array multiply by 2. This next function is very different function. Copy array and divide by 2. Look at this, radically different. We're going to go through it though to feel just how different it is. And there may be more that look just like this. We're going to feel this pain because with this comes an understanding of why there might be a better way. So here we go. Copy array, and this time we're going to divide each element by 2. Not multiply each element by 2, but divide each element by 2. Line 1, I'm not even going to write it out again. I'm just going to erase the bits that change, just so we know just how little it is changing. So line 1, Z, what are we doing?
We are declaring a new function called copy array and divide by 2.
Excellent. Correct. Copy array and divide by 2. Excellent. Next line, Z.
We're declaring the global variable my array and setting it equal to an array of element 1, 2, 3.
Very good. Very nice, Z. Next line.
And then we declare a global variable result.
Yep.
And we're setting it to undefined until we invoke the function.
Okay, so off we go and invoke the function. Copy array and divide by 2. Invoke with the parens, that means run the function. What do we do at that point, Z?
We create a new local context.
New execution context, there it is.
Context. And we set the parameter array to 1, 2, 3.
Perfect. We set output to
Empty array.
empty array, and now we hit the body of the for loop, where we grab Philip. When we first hit the body of the for loop, what is the value of I?
0.
I is 0. So array sub 0, array index 0 is what?
1
1. So we take that 1 and do what with it?
divided by 2.
And get
0.5.
0.5.
Oh, 1. Wait.
No, 1 divided. No, you're spot on. No, you're spot on. 0.5 is the British word for 0.
I was like, what?
Half, 0.5. I can tell you a funny story, which I will not tell on video, of the confusion that 0 and 0 can cause. Good, anyway, there we go, 0.5, and what do we do with that 0.5, Philip?
We push it to our output variable.
Perfect, into output array. All right, okay, but it's a for loop. It's a for loop, so we're not done yet. We hit the body of it again, this time the value of I is what, Skylar?
Is 1,
Is 1.
which points to the value 2.
Okay, is 1, which is array position 1 is 2. We take that 2
Then divided by 2.
and get
1.
1.
Push that to our output array.
Perfect. It's a for loop, so we get the next one, we get 1.5. There we go, 0.5, 1.5. And now we hit the close of our function, the final line, Lewis, which says what?
We're returning the output, which is the array containing 0.5 divided by 1.5.
Into
Our global memory, which is the result.
the result global variable. And look at that. We have successfully run copy array and divide by 2, which took in 1, 2, 3, and returned out 0.5, 1, and 1.5. This combination, this function has served its purpose. It has taken in an array and turned out a brand new array with each of those input elements in the input array halved. Okay, we like this function.